Hello everyone, this is Priyasha from XAT, and here we are with the part 2 of the non-PYQs of XAT poem based RCs. So the first part was already uploaded before where we discussed two non-PYQs. Today also we'll be discussing two non-PYQs, and remember the approach of doing the questions will be certainly different in the sense that I would not rather come and sit and explain one line at a time, because this is not going to happen in the examination as well. Remember that today the approach will be like any other student who would come across a completely new poem for the first time. You don't know the meaning of certain words, I assume. You don't understand a particular sentence, I assume. And in this kind of an, condition where you are not ready with the poem, or maybe I can say that you are not knowing the correct meaning of the words or something, still you manage to get the questions right, we will be solving the questions in that manner. And also remember that poems comes with a lots of varieties, okay? Especially this poem, the first one, though it looks really small, you can have a look over it, okay, and try to solve it on your own. So this poem looks a very small one, but apparently it uses a lot of imagery usage is like high class. Okay, so if you just go through this poem, and I'm just sliding down the questions for you people. This is question 1 on your screen, question 2 on your screen, and the last question 3 on your screen. You can take a screenshot, try it on your own once, be ready with your answers, and once you're ready, then we can get started. Okay, so I hope that you have taken screenshots and are ready with the answers now. Now let's get started with reading the poem thoroughly. Now when we are reading the poem, remember that you don't have to know the meaning of each and every word or sentences as such. You have to understand it. बेसिक इंग्लिश की नॉलेज तो होना पक्की है, ये तो मैं मतलब डिस्क्लेमर दे रही हूँ, but then still, okay, let's get started. Apparently with no surprise. Now remember that since it's a very small poem, each and every word holds some kind of an importance. So if they are saying no surprise, we will see how this no surprise thing will be used later in the answer part. Okay, so apparently with no surprise to any happy flower, so the adjective used with the flower is happy. You have to just keep these points in head, okay, that the keywords used are going to depict some information. The frost beheads, the word beheads will be very useful at its play. So beheads matlab sar kalam kar dena, okay, beheads. In accidental power, that means this power is accidentally given to frost, okay. The blonde assassin passes on. Okay, so assassin word is again a negative word which refers to a person who kills people. The sun proceeds unmoved to measure off another day for an approving god. Okay, so the adjective used for god is approving. So with the help of these things we will see how we can answer the questions. But before that, let me tell you the gist of what I understood from the poem, or what anyone should, take away from the poem. That we are talking about a tiny happy flower, okay, which is being beheaded by a frost, which has some accidental powers. Like वो accidental powers का मतलब क्या है कि जैसे फ्रॉस्ट में क्या होता है, कभी बार जब उसके साथ विंड मिल जाती है तो वो फिर सब चीजों को बर्बाद कर देता है, बी इट इज योर क्रॉप्स और योर नॉर्मल प्लांट्स और समथिंग लाइक दैट. So here also it's talking about the same thing, that accidentally the frost beheads the happy flowers, and the happy flower apparently with no surprise, kind of is okay with it, because it knows that fine, this frost will destroy me. And remember that this blonde assassin passes on. Okay, now be very comfortable with something you don't know, and this is the key part of every poem, guys. Key part. You don't know something, be comfortable with not knowing it. Don't waste your time around it. For example, if I want to say that I don't understand what is this blonde assassin, who is being called as blonde assassin, it's okay, let's see if it has really been asked in the question or we are just wasting our time. So some assassin passes on, and we see the sun proceeds unmoved to measure off another day. यानी कि फ्लावर के साथ इतना कुछ हो गया, but sun के साथ कुछ भी नहीं हुआ, for an approving god. So now let's go and jump on the questions. Question number 1. Which of the following most nearly describes the author's attitude towards nature as expressed in this poem? Now, do you think that the author is happy? Look at the keywords we found out. There's only one positive keyword which is talking about a happy flower. But if you read it thoroughly, you will understand that this happy flower is also getting beheaded. There is talk of accidental power, there is talk of assassin. So when there are so many negative words, it's definitely not a positive attitude, which is delight. So delight will definitely not be the answer. Okay, you can make a point of it. This will not be the answer. Then we talk about dismay. Dismay is certainly sad kind of a feeling. Okay, so what is the sad part here? That this happy flower got beheaded is the sad part. Looks correct. Indifference, not really indifference, because indifference is not shown prominently somewhere. Okay, don't get confused with the sun moving and not changing and things like that. That is not indifference, that is also showing some change. And reverence means deep respect, and there is no respect shown anywhere. So the most appropriate answer for us would be dismay over here. Remember that the most logical description which we can get out of the poet's attitude would definitely not be delight, indifference, or reverence. So we will go with dismay. Always remember, your answers are not supposed to be the perfect ones. You have to go with nearest perfect answer. We call it as NPA. तो बाकी ऑप्शंस को एलिमिनेट करने के बाद जो आपको सही लगे, that would be the NPA. Number 2, the poem implies that the attitude of the flowers towards the frost is one of fear, horror, respect, acceptance. Well, respect तो बिल्कुल नहीं है. Fear, horror का भी कोई keyword यहाँ use नहीं किया गया. Instead, the flower is happy. Apparently with no surprise, the flower is happy. The flower knows that the frost will behead me, but is still with no surprise ready for it. And when the flower is ready for it, it very nicely shows a sense of acceptance to what is going to happen. There is no hint anywhere about the fear or horror feeling in the flower. So we will definitely go with the answer as option C. The third one and the last one for this poem is the tone of the poem implies that the speaker probably regards God as. Now look back to the tone of the poem. Okay, what are the options available with you? Do you think that the author or the poet here is trying to depict God as benevolent? Okay, someone who gives a lot, or just, or cruel, or angry. Well, these are some feelings which you see, very extreme feelings. Okay, now look at this. A god who would approve. Now see, approving god, approving god. So a god who will approve a happy flower to be beheaded will apparently for the will apparently not be considered as benevolent, right? A god जो कि एक हैप्पी फ्लावर को जिसका सर कटने दे रहा है, हम उसे like the poet is definitely not calling him as benevolent or just. Okay, and the most important part is that the god is allowing the happy flower to be beheaded. At the same time, big things around the nature like the sun remains unmoved. So it's probably not getting we cannot have a feeling of being just or benevolent here. Now the two options left are, of course, one is angry and the other one is cruel. So look at this. What makes more sense? What is the comparison between angry and cruel? Approval will never connote anger. You are calling the god approving god, so you are not angry on him, but rather you can say that what makes more sense is a little bit cruel. You can say that God is being cruel on the part of the flower जो उसको behead होने दे रहे हैं, right? So therefore we can say that the tone here would be cruel. He is referring God to as cruel because we have no support for benevolent and just, and when it comes to angry, we don't have any hints for angry as well. So the answer would be cruel. I know sometimes it looks like ये तो मुझे ऐसा नहीं लगा था, but then again the same thing, guys. Here poet wants to say a specific thing and you have to guess it with the help of options and then figure out the best one. All right, here's the second one, a poem by Sir Walter Scott, Patriotism. Read it quickly. I'll just scroll down. You guys read it. Then this is question 1, this is question 2, this is question 3, this is question 4 and 5 together. Okay, so if you have taken a screenshot, try it on your own, give yourself 2 minutes, and once you are done, let's get started. So this poem says, breathes there the man with soul so dead. Soul so dead means you can understand the tone, who never to himself had said, this is my own, my native land. That means he's talking about that one unpatriotic person that who never has ever said in his life that this is my own native land, whose heart had never within him burned, as home his footsteps he had turned from wandering on a foreign strand. Means this person is not at all connected to his own native land. If such there breathe, go, mark him well, for him no minstrel raptures swell, high though his titles, proud his name. Means he's trying to say that no matter how high titles he gets, boundless wealth as wish can claim, despite those titles, power, and pelf, the wretch concentrated all in self, living shall forfeit fair renown, and doubly dying shall go down. So see, as I said in the very beginning of this video, it's not necessary for you to understand each and every word and sentence. What is more important is to understand the basic takeaway from 2 3 lines together. So what I see from this part, I understand that the poet is trying to say that no matter that person is how much, very wealthy, very honorable, has high titles attached to his name, but still he would not get that respect which is given to a patriot. Okay, also remember they are talking about double dying, so there's a question about double dying as well. So how is he doubly dying, we will discuss that as well. Okay, because see, he is not renowned. Hmm? To the vile dust from whence he sprung, so he will die down from where he started, unwept, unhonored, unsung. That means when this man will die, no one will cry for him, no one will honor him, no one will sing those patriotic songs in his memory. Okay, so let's get started. Number one, this one is an easy poem, guys. Okay, so this is one another pointer which I want to give all my subscribers out there. Look at this point very clearly, guys. Remember that the length of the poem doesn't decide your take to accept it or not to accept it. The reason being that is, trust me, trust me, really, I'm saying this on a serious note. You guys are not going to take any decisions based on the fact that, oh, this one is a long poem, this one is a short poem. No, you have to take decisions based on the questions associated with it. So look at the questions. They are pretty easy compared to the first poem. What is the most likely meaning of the word pelf used in the poem? So I have highlighted it over here. This is the word pelf. So pelf is associated with the titles, power, and pelf. So I just gave you an overall hint over here, right? That he is trying to say that no matter you are honorable, you are wealthy, still you will not be honored. So here the word power is already used. So power is definitely not the meaning of pelf. देखो इस तरह से दिमाग लगाओ अगर vocabulary strong नहीं है तो. Okay. Now comes the other thing, which is wealth, stealth, and health. Stealth is not associated and health is not associated with titles and powers. हम लोग पैसा, गाड़ी, महंगा घर की बात कर रहे हैं. So definitely we are not talking about stealth and health anywhere. So the only possible meaning of pelf out of the given options is wealth. This is what even the Professor Rahul Shukla sir was also talking about when I interviewed him about the verbal ability section of that. And he completely was in this favor, saying that words are specifically not asked, and if at all it is asked, okay, then they will give you options which will be very easy to eliminate. So as he keeps on saying in all his interviews, it's a smart exam. You have to identify these small pointers only, guys, and get your work done. Number two, what is the poet's main idea in the poem? Of course, those who become rich must hate the country is absolute the like the worst option they can make ever. Option B, traveling abroad helps a person appreciate home. Not really. We are not going in that direction where one person is appreciating home. Rather, the poet is demeaning the person who is not loving his home. So those who do not love the country will not be honored is absolutely correct, because the last line itself says that the person who dies, okay, will not be unwebbed, will be unwebbed, unsung, and unhonored. So patriotism is the last refuge. No, no, that doesn't make sense. Let's go to the third one. What does the poem mean that such people will be doubly dying? Okay, I'll just take you back to that line, doubly dying. What do you mean by doubly dying? The explanation is right below. Here, this is doubly dying. People who, physically die, all of us will die physically once. But then the second death is when no one will weep for you, no one will honor you, no one will sing songs for you, and no one will remember you. So, doubly dying is when you will not only die physically but also be forgotten. That is option B. As simple. Okay. And remember that the patriot by contrast would be remembered by the future generation, but Scott is trying to say that the unpatriotic person will not only die physically but also be forgotten. Let's go to the next one. What does the underlined word concentrated mean most likely? So I'll just bring you back to the word concentrated here. So the wretch is concentrated all in itself. So you understand, like the context of the poem is speaking of a person who cares only about himself, not about his country. Okay, so therefore the one who is concentrated is most likely, let's go to the options. Most likely curved, arrogant, proud, no. Most likely focused on and concentrated on himself rather than on the country. So therefore the answer is option C. Easy, isn't it? I told you guys, I told you that this poem is much easy compared to the previous one. प्रीवियस वन में बहुत सारी इमेजरी यूज्ड हुई थी, हर एक वर्ड का एक मीनिंग था, बट हियर इट्स अ वेरी इजी वन टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट. Number 5, one can infer from this poem that Sir Walter Scott is dash. Now this is the easiest question I can give you as the gift, है ना. आज मैरी क्रिसमस है. सो आज के लिए ये क्रिसमस गिफ्ट एक इजी सा क्वेश्चन आपके लिए. ऑलराइट. And also one very important thing that this is just to tell you that these type of easy questions are also expected in the exam. Okay, so here for the fifth one, we obviously know that he loved his homeland. There's nothing about these stuffs. Okay, so just a quick reminder, we did 2 poems. Both of them were non-PYQs, and this PDF will be shared in the Telegram group, and important updates related to it will be shared on Instagram. So if you haven't joined my Telegram group, please join it from the link in the description, and also follow me on Instagram for many important updates and revision notes which you will get over there. Okay, so all of this would be there on the platform, and I will be giving you the links in description and comment section. Please take care of yourself, guys. Few days are left for the examination. Revision series should be on, and you should remember that these few days will really change your life. Take care. All the very best. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, please do like the video, share it with more and more people, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.